Good morning, everyone. So good to see you and to welcome some new faces. We're so glad that you have chosen to be here with us today. Good morning to all you that are watching us from home or from wherever you are, maybe at the lake, and watching our live streaming. We certainly welcome you too, and we're so glad you're with us. If anyone is present for the first time, we don't ask you to stand up or give your name, but there is information we'd love to have you fill out on the back in the back of the chairs. And also, Linda is our ambassador today, and she has a packet of information and a coffee mug to share with you. So after the service, if you'll stop and see her if you're new or have questions about what we do here, what we believe, and all the activities. Please check in on Facebook and tell your friends you're here. Where are they? And then please turn your phone off. Please join me in the mission statement. The words are up on the screen. Our mission is to encourage and inspire spiritual and personal growth by empowering each other to be authentically all that we came here to be. And let's speak together the affirmation for today's daily word. The loving presence of Jesus Christ is within me and all around me forever. The same luminous wisdom that lighted the mind of Jesus Christ is now filling my mind with light. Have this mind in you, which was also in Christ Jesus. The forgiving love of Jesus Christ is now flowing through my heart. His compassion embraces all creation. The healing grace of Jesus Christ is now welling up within my soul, and his holy calm now quiets every earthly storm. The renewing life of Jesus Christ is now at work in every atom of my body, and his incorruptible spirit is shining through every portion of my flesh. The joy of Jesus Christ now shines within my being, and my eyes and voice are bright and glowing with his spirit. The grace of Jesus Christ now moves through my entire self, and his graciousness is expressed in every part of me. The scripture is 2 Corinthians 13:5, if you'll join me. Know ye not that Jesus Christ is in you? And let's repeat the affirmation together. The loving presence of Jesus Christ is within me and around me now and forever. As I ring the prayer bowl, please hold the following people in prayer for their highest good: Barb, Kelly, Jim, G, Steve, Carolyn, Peggy, Lee, Ron, Robert, Catherine, John, Dusty, Matt, Sophia, Gwen, Jeannie, Brittany, Zach, Trenton, Kathy, Sue Ann, Chuck, Ed, Elby, and her brother Phil and his wife Carol, and anyone else you would like to add with our prayers. Let us sing our thoughts or prayers. The words are on the screen. As the sounds and the vibrations coming from our prayer bowl fill the sanctuary, invite them to be absorbed in your bodies, minds, and souls. Visualizing your oneness with Spirit, take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, send and receive hope, peace, love, and joy to all the people around you and encompassing every person on this earth. Send to yourself as we begin to relax our minds and bodies, preparing for prayer and meditation. Beginning at the crown of your head, release tension in your mind and your body. Inhale, hold, and exhale. Follow your focus to your forehead, eyes, ears, lips, tongue, and jaw. Breathe. Follow your attention to your neck and shoulders, down through your arms, wrists, and fingers, intentionally relaxing as you go. Move down through your spine and lower back, your thighs, knees, calves, ankles, and toes. Remind yourself to let go and to relax and to breathe. We affirm the highest and best manifest for the names on the prayer list, for healing, prosperity, guidance, safety, and peace of mind, for new beginnings. We embody these prayers for ourselves, our family, and friends, to all. We celebrate this or something better, as is our birthright. We support diversity, equity, and inclusion for all. We support peace and harmony in all countries. We visualize food, health care, and shelter for those in need here and around the world. We visualize basic needs met, inner peace, safety, and happiness for all. Where there is war, we send peace. For differences expressed in the United States of America, we emit love and only love. We remain calm and peaceful, leading to justice, fairness, and security in our country. We choose forgiveness to clear any blocks to our well-being, our minds, or to our flow of love and prosperity. We forgive ourselves for regrets, for actions we have taken. We choose to contribute from a loving heart to a consciousness of oneness. God is our inexhaustible source. From all directions, expected and unexpected, our abundant good comes to us. By our consciousness, we attract divine ideas of ways to further support our lives and our church. We attract people who have been searching for the truth that will truly change their lives, as Unity has changed our lives. We are grateful for the divine unfolding of God's good, actively working in and through those for whom we pray. The luminous wisdom of Jesus Christ is now filling our minds with light. The forgiving love of Jesus Christ is now flowing through our hearts. The healing grace of Jesus Christ is now welling up within our souls. The renewing life of Jesus Christ is now at work in every atom of our bodies. The grace of Jesus Christ now moves throughout all of us, and his graciousness is expressed in every part of us. As we rest in the silence, we rest in the knowledge that the Spirit of Jesus, the Christ, dwells within us. And we ask, how might we express Spirit more fully in the silence. And before I leave the platform, I would like to introduce Mitch. That's Mitch right there. He's been a resident of Springfield for over 3 decades, where he and his wife, Carrie, graduated from Missouri State and have raised their family. In the early 2000s, they served together in the United States Peace Corps, with Mitch teaching English and Carrie leading education and health initiatives. Over the course of his career, Mitch has dedicated himself to service and community leadership, working in refugee resettlement, nonprofit management, and is currently an on-air host and producer of a daily television program on KY3. That will be the place. It shows at 3:30, Monday through Friday. He also serves as president of the Blues Society of the Ozarks, plays in 2 working bands with fellow Unity musician Denny Robinson, and has been deeply involved with Unity of Springfield, having been a board member and has played in the church band for over a decade. He MCs our talent shows, special events, and Planet Unity for several years, and he harasses me terribly.
Perhaps my greatest accomplishment.
Yeah. You shouldn't treat old ladies like that.
Well, thank you for the plug on the show, Dee. I appreciate that. There it is. Well, good morning, and thank you very much. I appreciate the applause. It's very much deserved. As Dee says, thank you, John. As Dee says, I have been a church member for 15 years. However, I am not a licensed Unity teacher. I have no training, and I am what my family would call full of myself. So, click it. Oh, I have found turning it on often helps. Wait for it. As with the goodness of everything, it will be fulfilled. There we go. Caveat emptor. You've been warned, so don't take any. Your mileage may vary on this. All right, now let's get started. I'm going to give you a rundown of what we're going to do today. So we are going to take a recap of last time I talked. That was a few months ago, Father's Day. Apparently I'm the fill-in on the holidays. If you can't get somebody, get Mitch. We're going to do a nice little recap because there's a lot of themes that kind of go over into this, so I want to make sure that we talk about those. And I was talking to Karen Crago, and she says a lot of you aren't too smart, and a recap would be helpful. Karen said that. I did not say that. So we're going to do a lot of far-ranging things. We're going to talk a little bit about non-duality. We're going to talk about the nature of God, and we're going to get some pretty substantially blasphemous things going on too. So be prepared for that. So ultimately, we're going to move at the end of this and talk about the concentric perspective. Eric Butterworth is a one of the great Unity teachers. Here he is, Reverend Eric Butterworth. If you want to listen to him, he's got sermons recorded. You can still find them online. Really nice, maybe 60 or 70 different sermons. I've listened to quite a few of them. He's a very interesting man and extremely progressive for his time in the 50s and the 60s. We also have books of him. There he is with his first wife. Actually took her name, to be perfectly clear. He lost his whole career, which is a smart way to do that. Butterworth money really, really gets you going. She was really sweet. Maple, I think her name was. Anyway, let's recap. So my last talk, we talked about hate versus love and how we oftentimes think of them as opposite. Whereas I don't necessarily think they are opposite, but we will talk about that and explore into that a little bit later. We also talked about how, did I miss one? Nope. I must have missed a slide in there. We also talked about how to love, and we talked about God's love. Love is a verb, but it's kind of hard to talk about what exactly it is. What is God's love? And so we talked about how God is kind of the different aspects of love, right? How there's these different types of agape love, and there's Philadelphia and pragmania, different types of love like that. And I think a better way to illustrate that is actually like this. If we think of God's like white light, like we talk about the sun, the sun shining on all of us, this unceasing, unflinching thing. We kind of talked about that as being God's love. God lets through a prism, then breaks down into all these different flavors of love, all these different types of love. And so that was kind of the thought that we went into saying, what is love? How do we express love? And that the ultimate thing was love is creation. We say that God is creation, God is love, but what does that mean? That is the actual act of creation is what God is. As the sun shines on all of us equally, we all create equally because we're all God and God's love. And we'll talk about that because it's time for the blasphemy. So, I'd say early 2000s, Neil Donald Walsh. A lot of you familiar with Conversations with God? Many people, I assume, right? Yeah, lots of you. This was probably the original. This was the book that got me into the New Thought movement. I was in my early 20s, certainly not going to my Baptist church anymore. I was out of college. I'm like, no. That is not for me. The plan of salvation, not for this guy. So Neil Donald Walsh was the first book really that got me into this different thought. And it introduced me to an idea that I really had not either come across or not been put in a particular way. And that is that God, let's put it this way. So, God in its singularity, before of all time, before all of us, God in its singularity is, right? God in its wholeness is God, and God recognizes its wholeness because God is, and God is perfect, and God is as it is. I know that's kind of a circular walk around, but if God is all there is, God in its singularness knew itself but couldn't express itself. So what God did was made the universe out of itself. For a long time, this was the first thing that really made sense to me. At church, I'm like, so why is there a heaven and why is there a hell? Why do we create sin? What is all this? And so with this thought process, I was like, oh, that's the first thing. While it may be true or not true, and I'm sure I don't know to recognize the fullness of it because I don't have a mind that can encompass it, but that was the first time that I thought, that makes absolute sense. And we are all made from the same stuff. We all are one. We all are the same energy because God made everything out of us. It's not outside of us. It's already in us because it is us. And God is creation and still creating. It didn't just start with the original creation of the universe. It's continually evolving. There's stars being born right now. There are babies that are being born right now. Life continually creates. We are continually creating. There's all kinds of living organisms on your body that are creating and reproducing. Right now, for your whole life, you create. And you can't help but create because God is creation and we're made of God. Ergo, we continue to create. Nature is one of the vehicles and one of the mechanisms through which God creates. And we can see that out there. Through evolution, we know that as things change, as species change, we evolve to adapt for our environment. It's a slow-moving process often, but that is how God has the natural world in order of creation. It's not the only one, but it is a way. I'm going to take a look at this. Oh, there's the creation one. So let's take a look at the statement of faith real quick, right? This is the church's statement of faith. And the statement of faith is, we all know it, we just said it, there is only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life, God, the good, omnipotent. But that can really kind of be trimmed down, right? I mean, there's only one presence and one power. That really says it all. If we all believe that we are made out of God, that God created everything, then it really sticks with there's only one presence and one power. And frankly, there's only one presence pretty much. We don't need to necessarily be redundant with the one power. And I guess if we're going to go that far, there is really covers it all. There is, that is existence. God has created existence out of itself. And that really kind of correlates with the first principle of unity, which we all know is God is. That is the basis. God is, I am, right? Those are our two basic principles of unity. God is definitively, and I am. So, if God is, how does God experience itself? Through consciousness, right? And I know that's kind of small, but you can sort of see the levels there. On the far side, we've got a human. On the far left, we've got a human. On the far right, we've got a jellyfish, right? And I don't know how accurate that is. Doesn't matter. Point is, consciousness. We know that there's different consciousnesses, right? Not just a human consciousness. A dog has a different consciousness. Definitely has consciousness, right? Not a human's consciousness. A dolphin, there's a high level of intelligence. We know that. That's intelligence and consciousness. Not the same, but they go hand in hand in a lot of ways. Think about a koala. I have no idea what a koala has. I mean, I know they like what eucalyptus, they hang in trees. I don't know. Very randy. I know. Koalas. What about a seahorse? You ever thought what kind of consciousness God experiences through a seahorse? Because God is experiencing these different consciousness. God experiences consciousness through these different animals. What about a virus? What kind of experience does God experience through that? A stone? Maybe a rock. What about a star? You think a star has a consciousness? That seems plausible. That does seem plausible, but I don't know. And my humanness, it doesn't necessarily matter, other than recognizing that I cannot comprehend it because I do not have the full consciousness of God. As we create, creation is very much like breathing, right? We're all breathing right now. And maybe not, I bet most of us haven't thought about breathing unless we maybe did some meditation this morning or did something where we really turned our mind to it, but you probably don't think of breathing because it's a constant thing. Always breathing, you don't have to think about it, it just constantly goes, right? Creation is the same way. You're breathing, but what can you do with your breath? You can hold your breath, right? I can control my breath. I can talk to you. I can sing. I can whistle with my breath. There's lots of things I can do with my breath, but if I'm not focused onto it, then I'm just breathing. I'm just existing. You're always creating. If you're not focused on what you're creating, that's okay. You're still creating. You are constantly creating. You can't not create until the show's over. And then you're probably still creating. We don't know what goes on, but I do feel, and I think we all do, which is why we're all here, that there is a spirit or essence. And whether that goes and stays to an individual, I don't know. It's feasible that we move to a different level. Who knows? Doesn't really matter for the point of this. The point is right now, God made this earth to have an up and a down, to have a left and a right, to have a good and a bad, although those are relative terms, as all are, to have contrast. And that is how God can how God can express itself through us is through this conscious creation. So, yay, we made it. Concentric perspective. This is Eric Butterworth's core teaching in this book. What he says is, consider two cones, each with the points touching, with being on the left and being me on the right. And that little part where they touch, that is consciousness. That is the core of you. That is how God finds itself. And for you to find yourself, you find the core inside. You find the consciousness, the spot where God's essence pushes through. Are you able to handle it all? No. Do you need to? Of course not. What we are here to do is whatever we want. God doesn't really care how you express yourself. Because God, again, if we're all gods and we're just back and forthing to each other, God doesn't really care how you express yourself. And what the concentric perspective does is Eric Butterworth is saying, here's a way you can look at life. And with these procedures, you will get this result of life. Because right now you're thinking, this is not the life that I signed up for, perhaps. Or maybe thinking, this didn't happen. Or look at all the stuff that's going out. Part of the core of what Eric's teaching is that it all starts from the inside. What happens outside is what happens outside. We always talk about how you react to it, how you are. That is true, but you've got to be able to train yourself to react the proper way. So the concentric perspective is a specific way to perceive the universe that is underpinned by the nature of the universe, by the giving and receiving of the universe, of how God creates, by the creation of the universe. Life is lived from the inside out, and we are the nexus of God's consciousness. This is why we're co-creators. This is all the power that's given to us. This is why a lot of people don't put their mind towards it, I think, is because it's insanely powerful. It's insanely powerful to have the free will to be able to do what you want to do Because that's what we do. We have the ability. Now we have society for law so that we can live together. This is what we've created. We have a church we create established in societies and things. But when it comes down to the only thing that you truly have any control over, anything at all, is your own will and your own body. And God gives you all the power to create what you want. And that's not saying, again, well, this happened out here to happen on me. That's fine. The outside has to happen in. You go inside. That is the core. When you get to the inside of you, then you tap into the wellness of the God behind you. Yeah, I am. Thank you. We are the lens. Like breathing, we are always creating. And our ability to experience the three-dimensional existence of God is that God's gift and how God expresses itself. The apple from the tree of knowledge of good and evil was the blessing. That is the representation of consciousness. I'm totally going off book from, I don't know if Unity believes all that, but that's certainly what I believe, allegorically, is that is what that represents. The knowledge of good and evil, of course it is. God gave you consciousness. Now you have all this power. Go into the world. Make the world what you want. We have this immense amount of power because of the type of consciousness we have, the self-awareness, and the ability to do something with it. A dog is certainly self-aware, but a dog does not have our type of consciousness. And I think that's a hard thing to find. I know right now a lot of the philosophical communities and even psychology, consciousness is an undefinable thing. It's something that we can't pin down. Can't pin it down scientifically, can't pin it down psychologically. I've read a variety of articles in the past 6 or 8 months. And that's really the way it is. Our consciousness is an interesting thing. And there are a few theories out there that our consciousness is what really shapes the world. The reality is not really set right now, which we kind of believe that, right? We believe, well, in the future we're going to do something. After this, we're going to go to the town hall. It's not set. We have the ability, the will to do that. But it's a little more, our consciousness plays a bit of a role more than that. Quantum mechanics, I'm not going to get into quantum mechanics, but that's the field that's been around, that we understand that these certain rules work, but we don't know why they work. They kind of defy a lot of different things, and that really is something that seems to be affected by humans' consciousness. Not a dog watching at this. When we watch certain particles, if we're watching, they go one way. If we don't, they go another way. Look into it. But anyway, there's a deeper level of reality into it. So, there we go. So the concentric perspective is a specific technique to get specific results. And those results, according to Eric Butterworth, are abundance and peace. Terrible way to live your life. Terrible way to live your life. Abundance and peace. You're the only one steering your brain. So you have got to touch the inner source, and that is how you get into focus. Meditation is one of the primary ways that you can't do that. There's not a different way. And there's different ways to meditate. I'm not saying you need to sit there in a full lotus, get your fingers out here and breathe. That's a way to do it. Taking quiet times, stopping and focusing in with yourself. Do you remember Sue's old mantra, God is, I am? She would say when she would say, God is, I am, God is, I am. I did that for years. I was like, that's a great idea, Sue. I'm going to do that. And for years, I would stop and, I'd be wound up. I'm a little wound up. I don't know if you guys can tell. But sometimes I'd get wound up about something, and I'd stop, and I'd take a breathe in. God is, I am. God is, I am. Helps focus me. Gives you a mantra. Maybe you like to do Om, whatever it may be. You can find something to get your mind into focus. And it's small blocks. I'm not saying sit down to meditate for a half an hour and tomorrow it's eternal bliss. I'm saying you've got to take the small times. Eric says that the really way to make the concentric perspective work, if you want abundance and if you want peace, there's not one way to live your life. There's not one right way to live your life. There's a million different ways. But if you want abundance and you want peace, this is how you can do it. And it's by giving. That's the core of this. And later on, we're rolling towards the end of this talk. Perhaps we can talk more, because the book itself is about giving and about how if you give, you will have complete abundance. Because this is the way to practice that. The way to practice for giving and receiving. It's the same act. When you give, you also receive, and it is complete. When you give, it's also receiving, and the more you give, the more abundant you are. It's not about the outside. It's living concentrically from the inside. That's the concentric thing. Your core, you emanate concentrically. You have the cones, that's a good way to think about it, as I've got the back of all of God's creation behind me and pushing forward, but the concentric perspective, his true one is core in the here and circles, if you will, radiating out from you. That is the way you give. You go inside and it all gives out. Because you're secure in your connection with the universe, you get peace. And because giving is receiving, the more you give, you've already received. So the more you give, the more opportunities you look for. I'm not talking monetarily, although that's a way to do it. That's actually one of the only few promises in the Bible where they specifically say if you give 10%, you will get it folded back into you, giving money specifically. But we all know that wasn't necessary. It's a different time and age, right? The 10% was not, that was essentially taxes. We're not worried about that. And it doesn't matter what the percentage is, and none of that means anything. It's about giving, and it's a giving consciousness. That's the key. It's not about, am I giving money? If I'm giving my time, am I giving this? You are opening yourself up to say, how can I give? And when the opportunity arises, you give. And then you receive from that. That's just the way it works. The act of giving completes the act of receiving. And so the abundance flows from that. Eric makes an interesting point. He says, in the beginning, Genesis, God says, let there be light. God didn't say, I create light. God says, let there be light. God gave it. God opened up, let the heavens and the earth. God said, let it happen. Let it go. Let it open up. That happens a lot too. You know, people come to Jesus moments. We've all seen it. We've all had the altar call where I'm at my rock bottom. I can't do anything else. I've just got to give it all up to Jesus. They're giving it up to Jesus, but what they're really doing is they're saying, I'm giving way. I'm letting go of the flow. And that could be Jesus. That could be Krishna. That could be Buddha. There's a different way. It doesn't matter. What they're doing is they're opening themselves up to the reciprocity of the universe. You don't have to hit rock bottom to do that. You have to go inside. Find inside. That's how you can go about it. So, we are all about the practical teachings here, right? So let's talk about a couple ways that you can go about this. It is extremely difficult. It's easy for me to say, it's super hard to do consistently. Consistency is the key, right? You're going to work out. You can't work out once a week and get good results. You got to be consistent with it. Whatever you want to do, you have to be consistent with it. So here's the good news, is that because you're constantly creating and God is everything and everyone, you can't fail. You've already won. You're already doing exactly right. Every one of us right now are creating 100%. You did it. Fantastic. Now, is that the way you want? Is your life the way you want it right now? Maybe not. So how do you change it? You have to turn your mind to it, and there's a couple ways you can do that. The key here, of course, is to get this consciousness as automatic as breathing. You don't have to think about your breathing. You want your consciousness to be into gratitude and to be into thought. So here's a couple things you can do. When you're driving, turn off the music. If you listen to music, sing along, listen to talk radio, whatever, turn it off and sit with your thoughts. And just sit with your thoughts and see where your thoughts are going. A lot of time, my thoughts are like, that's turned right there. Wait, pull out in front of me, you brake. Oh, sorry. Thank you, okay. I don't get road rage, but I run a pretty constant stream of, why are you so stupid running? Stopping and going, what am I thinking? Why am I don't know what's going on. Maybe they've got nitroglycerin in the back as an old A-team from the 80s. It's a really cool thing. Very, very careful, very cautious. I have no idea what that person is. But what I'm constantly doing is running a key, and that's it. That's not them. So something happened out there, but it's me that's reacting to them, right? It's me that's saying this and this. Let those thoughts go. Stop and say, what on earth are you doing? How many negative body things have you said about yourself today? Those are good. How about those imaginary arguments? Well, when they said this, and what good does an imaginary argument do anybody in the whole wide world? Stop your imaginary argument. God is, I am. Take 2 breaths. God is, I am. God is, I am. Put your mind back around. Get rid of that. Unforgiving thoughts of others, kind of goes along with the driving, but how many times? Well, they just walked right in front of me. Well, she didn't even say goodbye to me. Being cognizant is extremely hard to do consistently, but consistency is the key. So you've got to put the effort into it. You got to give your time. You got to give your effort into it. Now, there are physical ways you can jumpstart it. Giving money, we talked about. You want to give money? Money will do it. I'm not telling you to give money, but if you want to give money, that's a way you can jumpstart your giving. Volunteer your time. Look to volunteer. Give your effort. Find your mantra. Turn off your radio. Take off the music. Take time to breathe. God is and I am. When I stretch, I usually stretch before I work out in the mornings, and so it's about an 8-minute stretch, and I do 10 seconds on all the way around. And I used to just count to 10 seconds, and then I started going, oh, you know what? I'm going to say, God is, I am. If I breathe and control my breathing, God is, I am 3 times, that's about 10 seconds. I roll through that. Did that for quite some time, and that's a great way to center. And now I don't even do the God is, I am. I just stretch, and the stretching is routine because I've done it for years and years and years. And then the breathing lets me focus. That's a small way of meditating. I don't have to spend forever to sit down. I have to sit down for 30 minutes. You can. That's a great way to do it. But I don't have to, because that small thing sets me back and makes me centered. Let's go back here real quick. There we go. Let's look at this. There's only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life, God, the good, omnipotent. Whereas God is all that's sufficient, what that says is this group of people have decided in their consciousness and with their will to say that there is only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life, God, the good, omnipotent. That's what we're collectively agreeing to. That's the way we're steering our ship, and that's where we're steering our consciousness. And what's our mission statement? To encourage and inspire spiritually personal growth by empowering each other to be authentically all that we came here to be. That's what this group of people has said. That's what this church says is, hey, one presence, one power in my life, and I am going to make it good. I'm not necessarily sure good and bad are judgments that God agrees with, since it's all God. That's a different story for a different day, or a different talk for a different day. But I do know that if you choose to believe that God is good and omnipotent, and that's how you live your life, that's how you create. That's how you create that mentality, and you do it with the people around you. You just got to let it go. Let go of these things. Let go of the thoughts. I say just got to. You've got to do it in small ways. There's lots of small ways, but be cognizant. Be conscious. God doesn't care what you create. You've won. The prize is consciousness, and you won. Congratulations. We don't know what's next, and that's okay. It doesn't matter. We can't be forsaken because God can never leave, because God is everything and of everything. The anchor, the nexus, it's me, that's you. So this week, go, express God, be love, be creation, the big and the small. Thank you. And will the ushers please come forward? This is the time in our service that we choose to show the infinite gratitude for our many blessings. Hey, I just talked about that. Please join me in the offertory blessing. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. So please join us right after the service today for food and fellowship at our Fellowship Sunday potluck. There's a great opportunity to connect with someone new, and another great way to connect with others is helping with cleanup. We need a couple more volunteers to help wash dishes. Come share in the stillness this evening and every Sunday evening at 6 p.m. during our group meditation. It doesn't matter if you're new to meditation or if you've been practicing for a few years, everyone is welcome. What a great way to connect with yourself. The church office will be closed tomorrow, September 1st, for the Labor Day holiday. And all men are invited to the first Tuesday of each month to the Unity Men's Group and Potluck at 6 p.m. Please bring a dish to share, enjoy some good food, great conversation, and meaningful connection. We look forward to seeing you this Tuesday, September the 2nd. And the mat makers meet every Thursday at 10:30 a.m. This group creates sleeping mats that provide a barrier from the cold, wet ground for people experiencing homelessness. There are many ways to get involved, and no experience is needed. And if you can't come to the meetings, you can learn the process and help from home. Every hand helps. The Unity Drum Circle meets on the first and third Thursdays of each month at 6:30 p.m. The next gathering is this Thursday. All are welcome to join, and no experience is needed. Please bring a drum if you have one. And we are very excited to welcome Amy Burnett as our guest speaker next Sunday. Yay! Good luck following that, Amy. Amy has been a dedicated board member at Unity for 11 years. She served on the board. She is one of the rotating facilitators for our adult education class and is an essential part of our live stream team, actually doing the job right now. We're thankful for her ongoing service and for her leadership. And next Sunday in the New Thought and World Religion adult education class, Karen Crago will be having her class, Optimism, Your Easiest Available Superpower. Yay! Class begins at 9:15, and you can join in person, or of course, you can tune in on the live stream on our Facebook page. Carla Quincy, our junior Sunday school director, would like to invite everyone to join her at the first Family Support Committee meeting next Sunday, right after the service. If you have a heart for supporting families and nurturing our youth, we would love to have your input and your participation. And from November 1st through March 31st, when the overnight temperature is forecasted to be 32 degrees or colder, our church opens as a crisis cold weather shelter. We transform our fellowship hall into a safe, warm place for 25 unsheltered people to rest. During September and October, we do an 8 items in 8 weeks donation drive to collect the most used shelter items. There are a list of items in the chairs. You have them right there. The item for this week is coffee. It certainly takes a village, and every single item and every single dollar makes a huge difference and is making this mission possible. Mary, I believe you had an announcement about the yard sale.
Good morning. Okay, so we are still taking donations for our yard sale that is coming up in a couple of weeks. Tell all your friends and family. We are taking donations through Wednesday of next week, and there will be people here Monday through Thursday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. to collect the donations.
Even Monday, Labor Day?
Not
Monday?
Not Monday.
Okay.
Not this Monday. Thank you, Mitch. So bring your donations. Like I said, tell all your friends and family. If they're trying to get rid of stuff, all that stuff you've got in your attic that you still have not done anything with, bring it because somebody else wants it. This is a great way to go along with our mission statement where we are reduce, reuse, and recycle, and we are helping the planet and the earth with this. Next Sunday, wear your casual clothes and help us. We will take everything that has been donated, clear the sanctuary, put up the tables, and bring everything in. It's a big job, but when we have lots of people to help with it, it goes really quickly, and it's also a lot of fun. And we will feed you, because we know that helps tremendously. The rest of the week, we will need volunteers from around 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. to get everything sorted and everything set up. We did hear you that people would like to volunteer in the evening, so Wednesday we'll be here from noon to about 7:30 or 8. So if you work during the week and you can't get here but you want to help volunteer, come on Wednesday and we'll be here late so that you can do that.
Is that Monday too?
Not,
Are they gonna have the church open on Monday?
not this Monday, not this Monday. It's the, yeah, it's the next week. Yeah, next week. So come, if you can't be here to help, but you want to help somehow, you can bring your goods, come and shop, and we always need.
Lunch for the volunteers.
Do what? Lunch for the volunteers, yes, that's what I was just getting ready to say. If you want to bring food by and drop it off so that our volunteers have something to eat, or bring some money and send some and have some money here so that we can buy things for our volunteers because they work really, really hard. It's also just an absolutely wonderful way to get to know each other and have a whole lot of fun. We do a lot of laughing, and when you volunteer, you get first dibs on everything that's here. So that's always a fun thing too. On a personal note, I just want to take a minute to say thank you. Thank you for the love and the support that I've received when I stepped away for a while. You know, Sue talked about we all have a bucket, and we have water, and there's all that sediment in the bottom of our bucket. All of our resentment and our guilt and our shame and all of our trauma and our grief, and it sits in the bottom of that bucket, and once in a while, we turn a hose on and it stirs stuff up, and we're able to deal with it and look at it. And I have been able to do that many times since I've been at this church and still continue to be supported. And that's one of the things I love about this church is that we love each other where we are, regardless of where that is, and encourage each other to be who we truly are. So I appreciate so much everyone, you holding space for me while I stepped away. It felt like I had some events happen where it felt like the hose went to the bottom of the bucket and it was turned on full blast. And a lot of stuff came up that I needed to step away and let settle. And I just appreciate all of your love and your support during that time. So thank you.
Thank you, Mary. And John Brocker, I believe you have him. As John's coming up here, Dee wanted me to let you know that if that 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. doesn't work out, just call her. She will be happy to come over to the church anytime that's convenient for you, day or night. Unlock it for you. So Dee just wanted to let you know.
So I just wanted to announce that the grief group is coming back, and we're going to be meeting second and fourth Tuesdays at 6 p.m. And we're going to be continuing to just delve in. It's an open space for whatever type of grief that a person might be experiencing. It doesn't really matter. We're going to do some focus on both the neurology and the physiology of grief. We're also going to be looking at the spiritual opportunities for spiritual growth that come from it, going through a grief process, and provide support for each other while we do this. So, thank you.
Thank you, John. All right, if you would please stand and join us for our final song, Witness by Daniel Nahmad. But first, we'll do our prayer for protection. It's on the screen. Together now. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. And the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is
This soul is a witness to my holy purpose, to all that I'm born to be. This soul is a witness to my holy purpose, to all that I'm born to be. Letting it in, letting it flow, letting it go where it will go, letting the power of your presence show the way. Letting it in, letting it go, letting it lead that I might follow, being a witness to your presence every day. This life is a witness to my rightful purpose, to all that I've come to be. This life is a witness to my rightful purpose, to all that I've come. And I will bear witness to your love. I will bear witness to your love. I will bear witness to your love for all my life.
Mitch. You guys, Fellowship Hall, please join us for our town hall meeting. Oh, it's just Friendship Sunday. Oh, great. Oh, good. That means I can roll up my cuffs. I thought that was town hall. Your groove is so good on that. Your groove is